Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to round number 3 of the Redline Racing League ARCA series. And tonight, we are live from the virtual Iowa Speedway. After opening up our season at Daytona International Speedway and now and then going to Atlanta to Echo Park Speedway, we're going to change things up a little bit because tonight these drivers are going to try to tackle the little short track out into the cornfields. Some things that we want to keep an eye on tonight as we get into this race is our keys to victories. But before we get there, right now the weather shows 82 degrees with a relative humidity of 60%, partly cloudy skies. But right now, the track temperature is at 123 degrees currently. So I expect to see these cars get a little bit slick, a little bit loose, a little bit free, and some elbows up. Tonight's keys to victories, though, tire management. These cars are going to log 140 laps, and they do have 4 sets of tires in the pits. So the driver who paces themselves early and saves some tire for the later runs will be the ones that will be charging late. Track position. Everybody knows Iowa is tight and it is raceable, but passing is not easy, especially with as hot as these tires are going to get tonight. I suspect that we're going to see one heck of a show. So getting up front early and staying there definitely could be the difference between clit air and mid-pack chaos. And then last but not least, patience in traffic. Iowa does have a multi-groove racing surface, but it does produce heavy traffic. Lap cars battling for position can stack up the leaders quickly. So picking the right lane and timing themselves is going to be critical. And that is going to be your war paint wraps keys to victory. I'm your host for tonight, Brandon Massey. I'm going to be the Lone Ranger up here as my brother had a situation come up. And so I'm going to be stepping out of the race car and into the drivers, up into the broadcast booth and covering all the action tonight. But before we get any further, we want to go ahead and pay tribute to the men and women who protect this great nation, those who have done it in the past, those who are currently doing it, and the ones that's going to enlist and doing it in the future, as we like to say thank you. And one way to do that is we like to play the national anthem. So without further ado, let's get right into our national anthem.
To honor America with the performance of the national anthem, 8-time Grammy Award winner, Chris Stapleton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular upon bird singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was
What an absolutely amazing rendition of the national anthem done right there. Some notable mentions for tonight, though, race fans. A couple guys that we're going to want to keep our eye on is going to be one of them right here. He goes by the name of John Stapleton. John is the series' current point leader. He also won Daytona. Daytona showed us 9 leaders with 26 lead changes, and currently John sits atop the points position within the ARCA series. But then Jax Duvall, who led a dominating 76 laps last week, was able to find victory lane at Echo Park Speedway. Those two guys right there, well, they've proved their dominance on what has been super speedway style racing. But here tonight at Iowa, we're going to see something really different. This short track is super hot. It is slick. I've been watching in practice all race long. These drivers are slipping and sliding, and I think that it's going to put on a really, really good race. A couple more noticeable, or at least notable mentions is Bradley Carter. Right now, Bradley Carter sets atop the speed charts currently in practice, currently by about 0.2 quicker than the rest of the field. Now, again, that's in practice with a 23.62. He's ran into some bad luck and whatnot throughout the season, but just behind him is going to be teammate Holden Myers driving the 51, about 0.2 off the pace. Last week's winner is currently setting third on the speed chart. Richard Swingle is going to be setting fourth. Tom Ringer, last week's second place finisher, is going to be setting in the 5th position. Tyler Waltz, I get to watch Tyler and some of these guys on Thursday nights as we do their commentary on the PRN network. I enjoy watching Tyler. Tyler is a bad, fast driver. He puts on a really good show. He's setting currently 6th on the speed charts. Todd Perez entered in tonight in the 69 machine, the Old Spice-sponsored Chevy SS right there. Had a 3rd place finish last week at Echo Park Speedway. Currently setting right now in the 8th position is going to be Corey Moore. He's going to be driving the 45. Really good looking Pabst Blue Ribbon machine right there is Corey Moore. Setting currently in the 9th position is going to be William Dixon. He is a full-time regular here in the ARCA series. As you can see him right there. Setting currently in the 10th position, you see him right there. A couple I tell you, our race team, I got to be biased tonight, but our race team has been off to a super big struggle. And one of the guys that's hoping to turn around their season is going to be Ira Kohlhaas right here in this RJS Automotive War Paint Wraps PRN Chevy SS. And he's going to be looking to turn around his season, but currently shows 10th on the speed chart. Signed in tonight in the 46 is going to be Jay Trockey, or at least Mason Trockey. Shows Mason, but I'm pretty certain it is Jay. I could be wrong. But he's currently right now going to be 11th quick. Our current points leader in the 77 is going to be John Stapleton. He's going to be 12th quick up on the leaderboard. The man in the National Guard, he runs everything Dale Earnhardt Jr., or at least so it seems, and that seems that way anyway, but he's had multiple Dale Earnhardt Jr. paint schemes. Running that famous number 88 is going to be Matthew Huggins. Rookie sensation, or at least hoping to be a rookie sensation, is going to be Dylan Doherty in the 28. A rough couple outings for him, both at Daytona and Echo Park. He looks to change his luck tonight at Iowa. New to the series, and one we've now had signed in with us, but he is making his series debut, is going to be Sean Dion, another gentleman that we get a call out on Thursday nights. So right now, that's going to be the speed charts for who we have currently signed in. As right now, I'm showing 15 cars signed in to tonight's session, and they have about 40 seconds left in practice. And I can tell you, race fans at home, this is going to be probably one of the best races you've seen, provided these guys show a little patience. They show, some give and take, etc. I think we're going to see a really good race tonight. So I'm super excited for it. I'm ready for it. And I think it's going to put on a good show. But we're going to take a brief break, and we'll be right back with you for all the live action from the virtual Iowa Speedway and the Redline Racing League ARCA Series. Currently, right now, these drivers is out on the racetrack for what should be 2 qualifying attempts here at Iowa Speedway. The first to lay down a lap time is going to be William Dixon. He's going to lay down a 24:28. Todd Parral just laid down a 24:07. John Stapleton with a 24:27. You can see all those times right there. The Woodlawn, Tennessee native Ira Kohlhaas looking to lay down his first lap times tonight. And we'll see where he rings at currently right now. As you can see the speed chart just on the left side of the screen right there. Todd Parral is going to lay down a 23:99. It's going to be a 24 flat. Ira's going to lose it for his second lap. I can tell you, tonight's going to be a battle of attrition, race fans. It's absolutely 100% going to be a battle of attrition. As we see Bradley Carter in the 62 go to the very top of the leaderboard, laying down a 23:70 right now. We're going to see if he's able to pick up any lap time on his second lap. And really good exit out towards the wall. And in fact, he will not, but he'll match by just about 1/100th of a second, which his second lap time was a 23:71. So matching lap times, Tom Ringer lays down a 23:86. Currently second quick. Right now out on the racetrack, we do have Mason Trockey. I believe it goes by the name of Jay Trockey. He's going to be in a 46, currently laying down his lap time. So is Tyler Watts. Jax Duvall is also out on the field. He just clocked in at a 24:12. Tyler Watts just clocked in at a 24:27. Matthew Huggins looking to lay down his first lap. And he will clock in at, or this could be the start of his lap. I believe it is, in fact, the start of his lap. So we'll see where he clocks in. Jax Duvall picked up a little bit of time his second lap. So did Tyler Watts. And that's going to be a struggle of a first lap right there, as we do have 15 drivers signed in right now. As you can see, Matthew Huggins is clocked in at a 24:97. This is going to be a driver's racetrack. If you've never watched any racing around Iowa does tend to get really slick. What a beautiful job. He was actually able to pick up several tenths of a second right there, and he'll go to a 24 flat. That's going to move Matthew Huggins up to P6 currently on the scoring tower. So great job by him. I can tell you one guy that's going to be disappointed in his qualifying efforts going to be the 29 of Ira Kohlhaas. He's going to have a lot of work to do to be able to come through this 15-car field tonight. But it'll be fun to watch him. Ira, I suspect, is going to be good on the long run once the tires start to wear, etc. He'll get out there and on the racetrack and find himself a groove. It's going to be an interesting night of racing, though, race fans. I really do think it is. I think it's going to be a really good show. I think we're going to see tons of action, as these drivers will be finishing up their qualifying sessions. Again, right now, the track temperature still shows to be 123 degrees, so not much change there. Little over a quarter mile in length. Again, the keys to victory is going to be tire management, track position, and then patience in traffic. And I think that we're going to have to see a lot of that tonight, because patience is going to be a virtue for these drivers. As qualifying is over, that's going to allow us to get to the grid for tonight's event. So here will be the grid for tonight's events. Starting on pole is going to be Bradley Carter in the 62. Starting outside pole last week, second place finisher is going to be Tom Ringer. Starting third, driving the 51 is going to be Holden Myers. Starting fourth in the 97 is going to be Richard Swingle. Starting fifth in the 69 is going to be Todd Parral. Starting sixth, driving the 88, is going to be Matthew Huggins. Starting seventh in the 54 is going to be Tyler Waltz. Starting 8th, driving the 45 machine, is going to be Corey Moore. Starting in the 9th position, driving the number 84, and last week's winner is going to be Jax Duvall. Starting in the 10th position, driving the number 48, it's going to be William Dixon. Our current season points leader, driving the number 77, starting in the 11th position, is going to be John Stapleton. Starting 12th, driving the number 46, is going to be Mason Trockey. Starting 13th, the Woodlawn native, driving the number 29 is going to be Ira Kohlhaas. Starting 14th is going to be the number 28 of Dylan Doherty. And starting 15th is going to be the 3 of Sean Dion. And that is going to be the starting lineup for tonight's 140 lap event here at the Iowa Speedway. You can see these drivers back through the field here. Looks like one car has not made the call. And that looks to be Sean Dion. Doesn't look like he's made the call. So that's going to put us 14 drivers signed in for tonight's 140 lap race here at Iowa Speedway. The iRacing Pace car does have its lights. Well, sorry, the iRacing Pace truck has its lights off, which means we should be going green this time by for what should be an absolutely amazing night tonight. I suspect that we're going to see a lot of good racing, as Bradley Carter is going to bring them down into the restart zone. And we are underway from Iowa with the Redline Racing League ARCA Series. Currently, right now, Bradley Carter is going to be up front, followed by his teammate Holden Myers. Todd Terrell is going to be third. Tom Ringer in fourth. You can see him right there. Started outside pole, didn't get a very good start. And in fact, there he currently rides. Right now, the biggest mover currently I'm showing is going to be Jax Duvall. He's going to be up 3 spots. He's since have tied himself into the 5th position right now, battling on the outside of Tyler Waltz right here. You can see Matthew Huggins and group back here. As we see John Stapleton, the current points leader right now. Right here's the current battle for the lead. Right now it is Bradley Carter, Holden Myers. Very similar looking paint scheme. Riding in the 3rd position currently is Todd Perra. Jax Duvall is looking for another position. He's going to be up what should be, I believe, 6 spots now, as he's looking to take over the 4th position. He'll do exactly that. Now, if there's anyone think about Tom Ringer, I do know this very potentially could be a tire strategy type of race for him, and he's just going to go and let these guys wear their stuff out. As right now, Tom has fell back 4 positions to the 6th place currently. We can see 3 wide right here, race fans. That's not something you see at Iowa often, but with this hot temperatured racetrack and these tires, we could see quite a bit of that tonight. I suspect potentially we could see quite a bit of that tonight. We go back out front. Bradley Carter still shows the way as they've just completed lap 6, now working lap 7. Because these cars have went and got, it's only taken about 7 laps, but they have completely spread themselves out. As you can see here, kind of the gap between most of these cars. Pretty evenly spaced throughout the field here. So no change up front as these drivers have completed lap 8, working lap number 9. I don't know how much pressure Holden Myers is going to put on Bradley Carter here. They are teammates. I don't suspect that he's going to really put on a ton of pressure. And unless he just absolutely gets a good look. It looks like these guys are painting that white line, though, and they're doing a really good job at it. Right now, the biggest mover of the night so far is going to be Jax Duvall right there in the 84, last week's winner. Last week, I think he was in a Goldfish car. Now he's got 84 Lumber on there. Right now, we have 3 drivers that has fallen 4 positions equally, one of them being Tom Ringer, the other being Richard Swingle, and the other being Matthew Huggins. All have fell an equivalent 4 spots. And Sean Dion has managed to take the green flag, so there he is. New to the series. He's going to be a few laps down, but that'll be okay. As we can see, the battle for the lead is starting to intensify right now. It looks like Holden Myers is putting a little bit of pressure on him. He's going to peak a little early, try to get some air on that left front. Maybe try to help the car rotate. And in fact, Todd Parra is actually able to get a little bit of a run through the center. As these 3 guys have checked out to about a 2.8, 2.9 seconds over 4th running Jax Duvall, and just behind him is going to be Tyler Waltz and Tom Ringer right there. On back behind these guys is going to be the 46, Jay Trockey right there. You can see Matthew Huggins, William Dixon, John Stapleton, Ira Kohlhaas, all right here in this 5-car pack. Ira's going to take a peek on John. Big push out of the 48 right there. And they'll go 3 wide. Ira's looking to get a 2-for-1 right here. Looks like that middle line does have some speed to it, and it is creating, and we talked about it in the Keys to Victory, this place does produce multi-groove racing, as you can see. A very good battle we have going right now. This is going to be for the 11th position. Ira is going to be able to clear. He'll now slide himself into the 11th position. Looking out the windshields is going to be the 88 of Matthew Huggins just directly in front of him. So right now, 16 laps in, no change up front. Has been Bradley Carter. It is still currently Bradley Carter. Holden Myers, Todd Parra right there. You can see they've kind of separated just a little bit. Tyler Waltz looking to get around Jax Duvall. This group has been running together for about the last, say, 5 laps. A good-looking machine Tyler's put together there. And that 54, matte black. I like the green on that car. It's kind of a mint green. Right now, we see these drivers kind of running all over the place. There's Corey Moore in the 45. That Pabst Blue Ribbon Chevrolet right there. And just behind him is Richard Swingle in a Ford Mustang. Good looking White Castle car right here. Dylan Doherty's going to pull over, let the leaders go. This is a great job by him. Again, he is a rookie to the ARCA series here. He's been working on his racecraft, practicing quite a bit. He's doing a very good job at just letting the leaders go, logging laps. It's a great job by him. The front three has separated quite a bit. Now, right now, the battle is going to rage on right here amongst these three between Jax Duvall. This is going to be Jax Duvall, Tyler Waltz, and Tom Ringer. This is going to be a three-car battle. This is all going to be for what should be the fourth position right now. As you can see, Ringer and Waltz side by side back here. Ira Kohlhaas has since gotten himself around the 88 of Matthew Huggins. Now looking to put a little pressure on Jay Trockey in the 46, and he's actually going to get a pretty good run off, and he's actually going to make himself inside the top 10. So right now, he's going to be listed as what should be the second, if not the biggest, currently the biggest mover of the race. That's going to be 4 or 5 spots for Ira, showing 4 spots. Jack Duvall steals up 5 spots for him starting position. So Ira is on the move. Just out in front of him is going to be that 97 and 45. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, no change out front. Bradley Carter still showing the way. Has led all 25 laps of this race. Holden Meyer second. Todd Perra in the 3rd position. Jax Duvall 4th. Tom Ringer has since got around Tyler Waltz for the 5th position. Tyler's going to be riding in the 6th position. Corey Moore 7th. Richard Swingle 8th. Ira Kohlhaas 9th. Mason Trockey, Jay Trockey 10th. John Stapleton, the current series points leader, is going to be in 11th. William Dixon 12th. Matthew Huggins 13th. Currently a lap down right now is going to be Dylan Doherty, and then Sean Daone in that Husky number 20 Toyota machine right there. That's going to be through the field for the 15 drivers we've got signed in here tonight. Race fans, I'm trying to find battles on the racetrack to get to the most exciting, and right now that battle's going to be between these guys right here, and that's going to be the 45 of Corey Moore. We're going to take a look at Tom Ringer here in the 68, starting to put a little bit of pressure on Jax Duvall. This battle still rages on. I want to keep an eye on this battle right here. These guys have been going at it for the last couple of laps. Keep an eye on those two as Richard Swingle will find the wall right there on exit. That's one thing you got to be careful of here. As this race is ticking away pretty quick. We've completed lap 29 of the 140 so. These guys are working on the 30th lap of the race. Again, Bradley Carter, still no change. He's out to about a 2.5 second lead over second place. Shows about 5.5 seconds over top of the 3rd place running Todd Perra. Tom Ringer taking a peek on Jax Duvall here as this battle is going to rage on. Again, one thing that we talked about in the keys to victory is how tough this place is to pass here. And one thing that you want to hope happens is one of these drivers make a mistake, and just like that, the 84 gets a little bit loose off exit. And again, tire wear 32 laps in is going to start to become a thing if it hasn't already. But however, Tom Ringer was not able to capitalize on that little bit of a loose exit for Jax Duvall there. I like what Ringer's doing here. He's able to drive in on the middle lane, turn it to the bottom, get it pointed, but it doesn't look like he's able to keep the throttle down. Let's go on board with Tom Ringer here. We'll make a lap with Tom around the Iowa Speedway. A lot of off-throttle time to get the car to rotate. Being very respectful. Tom is a very respectable racer here in the ARCA series. He's going to get up alongside of him here. No, he's going to fall right back on the bumper. As we can see, these two guys still throwing shade at each other, still battling. That's going to be the 45 Corey Moore, the 97 Richard Swingle. Still want to keep an eye on these two right here. It's kind of one of the best battles that we have on the racetrack right now. Is a lap car, and Dylan Doherty is going to become a little bit of a factor here. That's going to force Jax Duvall to go way high. Hold on to it, and he was able to. That's now going to cost him not one but two positions on the speedway. That's going to be tons of track position lost. Got up there probably in the marbles, in the loose stuff on the high part of the racetrack, and just got really loose on exit. Was able to heat those tires up. Now he's just going to have to settle in. He ain't done. He's looking to come back at Tyler Waltz there in the 54. In fact, he's just going to check up, fall in line. Kind of a smart move, really, when you're racing for points. Didn't have a bad finish. Dominated Daytona. Didn't have a bad finish there. Won last week. As you can see, Bradley Carter still pacing the way right now. His lead has since went out to about 3.5 seconds. About 8.5 seconds over top of Todd Perron. About 10.25 over top of Tom Ringer currently right now. Looks like Ira Kohlhaas is on pit road. But this is going to open up the pit cycle. He's going to be one of the first cars down. I just now caught that out of the corner of my eye. Didn't realize that we were going to be within the pit window. So right now, Kohlhaas is going to be on pit road. We're going to keep a look at his time. So this is probably going to start to bring some guys down pit road. We're going to see when Bradley Carter and some of these guys get down pit road. Now, if you're Ira, did you come too soon? About a 14.9 second pit stop. He's going to be back out on the racetrack. So now, if you're Ira, what you don't want to see is a caution. That's the one thing that you do not want to see. Matthew Huggins a little bit off pace currently right now. These guys have spread themselves out just a little bit as we are under 100 to go. They've just completed lap 42, now working lap 43 of the 140 total lap event here tonight. There's a look at our current season points leader in John Stapleton. there. Ira was down on pit road at lap 38. Right now we're at 45. So he's going to feel like Superman for a little bit. He's going to be able to pass a lot of cars. Going to try to unlap himself, make some really good lap time. He must have found something, at least caught on to something that he thought, well, I'm going to turn this into a tire thing and go ahead and hit pit road. Jax Duvall's now on pit road. Well, he tried to get on pit road. Not 100% sure what happened there. Let's take a look and see if we can catch up. I was showing that he was headed to pit road. Yeah. Oh, just a little too hot coming in there and missed it. One of the only mistakes he's made so far this season. And just trucked. Past pit road entry right there. But no change out front. Bradley Carter has led all 48 laps so far. Holden Myers still second. Todd Pra third. Tom Ringer fourth. Tyler Waltz fifth. That'll be the top five. I know Redline Racing League put out an announcement today that they're actually going to be moving away from the ARCA car at the end of this season for their Monday night series. And they'll be bringing out the Gen 6 Cup car. It was the Generation Cup car that was there before the next gen car. So there was an announcement made for that. And then also around September 17th, I believe they're going to be debuting a Wednesday night truck series potentially. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. You can go check us out on our Facebook page at Redline Racing League. No change out front. Bradley Carter still dominates. 51 laps down. Welcome back, race fans, and why we was under a little bit of a commercial, not commercial, but a little bit of a break. The 46 of Jay Trockey had a little bit of an incident. We're going to take a look at it. Just gets a little loose there, tries to throttle up, down through the grass he goes. I've also been told by race control that we had an issue with Matthew Huggins. We're going to see if we can find out what was going on with him. Kind of the same deal. So a tough break for those guys right there. As now Tom Ringer has since caught Todd Parra. He's going to be looking to take over the third place. There's that battle right now. I believe it's the closest one we have on the racetrack. Ira has worked himself up into the 10th position. Was on pit road at lap 38. Currently, William Dixon has been on pit road. He come about 10 laps later at lap 48. Matthew Huggins at 52 and Jay Trock at 51, probably because of their incidents right now. Though the plan might be to half this thing for these ARCA drivers. Bradley Carter, Holden Miles, Todd Parra, and group maybe looking to only one stop this thing and stretch it out to about 70 laps on this run. If we see them hit lap 70, 72, 75, we'll know then that they can make it to the end. As this has been a complete green flag run so far, as Bradley Carter's going to be looking to come and complete lap 59, working lap 60. That's going to put us at about 80 to go. And I can tell you this race is ticking away pretty quick. I want to take a look at the leader's last lap. Right now is a 24.6 out of Bradley Carter. Let's see what he lays down this time. So that's about 0.8 of a second off the pace from what these guys had on Dylan Doherty. Ira Kohlhaas, I'm showing, just crashed. Let's take a look. Simultaneously, I got that notification. There goes the 28. He loops it. Let's take a look at the incident with Ira. And just the car steps out on him. Tries to lock it down. Does just that. And then I'm told it. And he's just going to go to the pit. I'm going to see if I can't pull him down to the broadcast booth. We're going to find out what happened there. Ira, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy? Ira, it's Brandon in the booth. You got a copy? And I don't believe he does. So we're not going to be able to get a word with him, or at least so it doesn't seem like. Right now, 65 laps down of the 140 here. Still out on the racetrack. Currently, right now, the top 9 has not pitted. So I'm going to venture to say they're going to be able to stretch this out and probably one-stop this race. We were going to try to get a word with Ira there, was not able to do so. Tom Ringer has since made it around Todd Parra, who's going to take over the 3rd position there. You can see a little bit of gap start to get between these two guys here. So now we are at the halfway point of this race right now. That means these leaders probably have their pit window open. I suspect that they'll go maybe 1 or 2 more laps, and then we'll see some green flag stops. Now, executing, getting on and off pit road is going to be a challenge. We've seen that be an issue already once today. You're going to see a hot mess worth of stuff going on here. I suspect that this is going to be fresh tires versus old tires potentially. Just as I say that, Ringer has brought his 68 Chevy SS down pit road. So that tells me the pit window is open, and these drivers are going to be looking to make green flag stops. Now again, getting on and off pit road is going to be a challenge in itself. We want to give a very special shout out to Ratfink Racing League. The Precision Racing Network covers their league on Thursday nights. I also would like to give a shout out to Andrew Teft and the Racers Elite group over there. I've been doing some broadcasts for them, me and my brother. We got a big one coming up, I think, this weekend over there with those guys. As we can see, here comes Todd Perez, going to be making his pit stop. Tyler Waltz is also down on pit road as well. I wouldn't have suspected to see a 76 lap run on a tank of fuel in this car, but I guess I'm wrong. As you can see right here is going to be the third place running Corey Moore. And that's going to be your leader right behind him. You can see he will put him a lap down. So Bradley Carter's just putting on a show. He's led all 78 laps. He's lapped currently up to third place. Most of these guys are several laps down. But we are in the midst of a green flag cycle right now. So no change out front. I'm going to take another quick break, and I'll be right back with you live from the virtual Iowa Speedway. And for the first time all race long, we do see a different leader. That's going to be Corey Moore. Now, Corey was 1 lap down. Bradley Carter is going to be about 10 seconds behind him. He still has not been on pit road. Currently, right now, a few drivers that has not been on pit road. I show a total of 4 cars, one of them being Corey Moore. The other is going to be John Stapleton, Jax Duvall, and then Sean Dion still respectively hasn't made their stops. There's the current series points leader in John Stapleton right there. I've just been told that the fuel strategy, or at least the fuel length, is going to be about 97 laps. So if that's the case, these guys running this long, I suspect that potentially these guys are going to go plumb to the end of the pit cycle before they hit pit road. Right now, I show to have 4 cars on the lead lap. The first car 1 lap down I'm seeing is going to be Tom Ringer. We'll be on call this coming Thursday night with the Rat Fink Racing League here on the Precision Racing Network as the Rat Fink Racing League tackle the Chicagoland Speedway. And that is going to be a joy. I'm really looking forward to that one. Tom and the guys over there at Rat Fink do a really good job with their Cup Series. So we'll be on call there for that one. As the back-to-back race winner, Jordan Trask has informed me last week during that interview that we had with him that he will actually not be able to race this week. So you want to go tackle some points and try to get a win. Jordan's not going to be signed in come Thursday. Really good tire saver, really good racer. As you can see here, Tom's actually trying to unlap himself. Right now, Corey Moore is the leader, so he's going to try to unlap himself here. And he should be able to do so this time. So Tom is actually going to get back on the lead lap, but you can see just a couple of seconds behind them has been the most dominant car we've seen all night long in Bradley Carter. Tyler Waltz in that really good looking 54 there. Tyler is a driver I've been keeping an eye on over the past probably 3 weeks. I suspect that we'll find him in victory lane, if not in the Redline Racing League ARCA series. I suspect he'll find victory lane in the Rat Fink Racing League Cup series. Jax Duvall, last week's winner at the Echo Park. Bradley Carter has made up his track position and has reassumed the lead. So right now, that's going to put 5 cars currently on the lead lap. The 1 car on the outside looking in, I believe, is going to be Todd Perra, 1 lap down, and the leader is about a straightaway in front of him up there. We're completing lap number 94. Working lap number 95 of 140. That's going to put us at about 45 to go. William Dixon in the 48 right there. He's got a solid top 10 showing going. Next week, the Redline Racing League will be heading to Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then after that, for week 5, the Redline Racing League will be headed to Bristol, Tennessee. Week 6, they'll find themselves on the Multi-Groove Kansas Speedway. And then the one unknown I think that we're going to have all season long is going to be week 7. That's going to be at Thompson, the relatively flat track. Kind of a short track. That's going to be quite the unknown, so I suspect anyway. And then they're going to finish out the 8-week season at the Talladega Super Speedway. I'm kind of anxious to see how the rest of the schedule plays out. We know guys like Jax Duvall and John Stapleton run very well on the super speedways, and we can see Bradley Carter has since got back around Tom Ringer and put him a lap down, so that's going to be lapped up to 4th place now. As you can see, John Stapleton is on pit road. Race fans, I'll be right back. We'll finish out the last 40 laps. We are back, and we'll finish out from this point here as Bradley Carter continues his dominating performance here in the cornfields at Iowa Speedway. We seen him last Thursday have a really good run in the Ratfeek Racing League Cup Series, where he ultimately ended up in the 2nd position. And about 15 seconds behind him, going to be teammate Holden Myers. Currently the only 2 cars on the lead lap. The rest of the field has been lapped. I show 3 drivers out. It's going to be the likes of Ira Kohlhaas, Dylan Doherty, and Matthew Huggins. As you can see here, 97 of Richard Swingle. I just love that White Castle paint job. That White Castle paint job looks really good. Not sponsored here at the Precision Racing Network, but it's a really good looking race car. Just behind him is going to be the 48, William Dixon. Sean Dion right behind them. I just noticed that is a Matt Kenseth paint scheme on that car. I didn't realize that. The Matt Kenseth paint on that 20. Hold on to it, Tyler. Beautiful save there. This has been a challenging track for most of these drivers. Really loose setup in these cars. Really hot temperature. John Stapleton currently riding in the 8th position. Solid top 10 rolling right now for him. Going to be a solid points day. Jax Duvall is currently in the 7th position, and so only a position between the two. Jax is not really going to be able to make up very many points. I think he was about 3 points behind in the points battle currently. I don't think he's going to be able to make up too much. Maybe a point or two. These guys, if they do keep it clean, will be able to get some points for finish the race with no incidents. I don't think either one of them has been involved in anything of the such. Right now, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack is going to be that 45 of Corey Moore, who was last on pit road at lap 96. Currently riding in the 6th position. John Dione has finally hit pit road. You can see him down there. Might just be hanging out, not 100% sure. Bradley Carter's been able to extend his lead. Was about 15 seconds and since now to about 17 and a half over Holden Myers. Tom Ringer has taken over the 3rd position. So after a solid 2nd place finish last week. Oh, wow. This might bring out a caution here. And it in fact will bring out a caution. As you can see, he gets a little loose off exit right there. Tom barely misses. I want to rewind that. I want to go back on board with Tom Ringer here. Let's stop it right there. Let's go to Tom. Hop inside the race car. Let's watch this. Watch this from his perspective. Whoop! Oh, wow. Absolutely insane. So now, this means if there was no contact with Tom, he's going to get the lucky dog with 24 to go. We'll restart with about 22 to go. As you can see, Bradley and Holden is all coming down pit road. And in fact, Tom Ringer will get the lucky dog. So that means he's going to be able to get back on the lead lap. Now, Here's the downfall to that, though. The downfall to that is that means he's going to have to start at the tail end of the longest line. So I suspect we'll see him come down pit road, get 4 fresh General tires put around that race car. Now, the most dominant car we've seen all night long has been Bradley Carter. This is going to regroup him and Holden Myers. Early in the race, Holden did a really good job hanging with Bradley, so we're going to need to watch this to see how this plays out. But Holden is down about 17 and a half, 18 seconds when the caution comes out. And so we'll see how this shakes out. That's now going to put Ringer back on the lead lap. So, but again, he's going to have to restart at the tail end of the longest line. Now, all these drivers here have stayed out in front of the leaders. So Todd Perrott, Tyler Watts, Corey Moore, Richard Swingle, Jax Duvall. All these guys, well, Jax did not. All the way back to Richard Swingle. They should get a wave around here. If they do, that might actually help Tom Ringer. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see what the lineup turns out to be. But a lot of these guys here should get the wave around once the lights go out on the iRacing pace car. Just because the leader and such come down pit road. So there goes Todd Perrott. He's going around. So is Tyler Watts. Yeah, so these guys are going to get a wave around here. So most of these guys is going to be able to get back on the lead lap if a caution was to come out again. This is an interesting thing because now Tom Ringer is going to be able to restart right behind Corey Moore. And in fact, all those cars at the end of the longest line is now should be lined up behind Tom Ringer. So these guys are doing what they can to run down this group. And you can see they're going back green, so now Holden's going to need to clear, and he will. So now what's going to need is all these guys that got the wave around all the way back up to Stapleton in the 7th position. They're going to need a caution because we're nearing 19 laps to go. That's Jax Duvall up there in the 84. As Bradley Carter just laid down his fastest lap of the race at a 23.6. See some battles for position back here. John Stapleton has since moved up to the 6th position. Jax Duvall has since fell back to the 8th position. So for the points battle right now, John Stapleton still managing to find his way towards the front. Eyeing what could be a top 5 finish. Last time by, Bradley Carter laid down a 23.65. He's going to be coming to look for 15 to go. If it was just so to happen to get another caution, this could shake things up a little bit more. So the leader's last lap was a 23.8 to Holden Myers 24.0. Right now, Bradley Carter is about 0.2 quicker. Go on board. I'm going to take a lap with him here. Just really smooth, rolling the throttle. We are quickly approaching 10 laps to go. We see some battles going on here. Don't think this is any battles for position. Right now, Tom Ringer looking to add another podium finish. He's currently about 8 seconds out in front of Corey Moore. You can see Corey here. If you're Jax Duvall, though, riding in the 84 right there, you're probably wondering what could have been. He's up there running amongst the top 3, top 4, and doing a very good job at it. Again, track position was one of those keys that we had talked about. If we look at his last lap time, he ran a 24.1 to Holden Myers 24.2. He's currently the second quickest car on the racetrack. And in fact, that last time by laid down a 23. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was a 24.1. So laying down some really good lap times is Jax Duvall. We're at 8 laps to go, coming to 7 laps to go. Really nice drive by Tom Ringer, though. Riding right here in the 3rd position. Barely missed contact with the 84. And that one and only caution we've had all day. But a really solid run for Tom. I've noticed that Tom has a knack for short track racing, so it seems. Current points leader, John Stapleton, looking to lock in a solid top 10, currently riding in the 6th position. So no change out front. It's the same song, it's the same dance. It's been nothing but domination by Bradley Carter. So he's going to be eyeing 4 laps to go, coming to 3 laps to go here. Currently holds about a 3.5 second lead over Holden Myers and about a 5 second lead over Ringer. Corey Moore is going to be in the 4th position, Top Raw 5th. I know he's been itching to get into victory lane. Had what seemingly was a pretty good run going at Daytona, just didn't end quite the way he wanted it to. Had some troubles at Atlanta, much like I did when I was behind the wheel of the car there. Yeah. Yeah, you're out to about a 3 1/4 second lead, Bradley. You might as well just kind of hang on to it and bring it home, as we are going to take the white flag here for Bradley Carter in the Redline Racing League ARCA Series at the virtual Iowa Speedway. Sheer domination for this driver here. What a statement that has been made, as Bradley Carter will exit turn 4 and take the checkered flag tonight from the cornfields of Iowa Speedway. Second, it's going to be Holden Myers. Third, it's going to be Tom Ringer. Fourth, it's going to be Corey Moore. And here comes Todd, the 69. He's going to finish 5th. And the season's current point leader will come home in 6th. As we take a look at the race results, you can see right there Bradley Carter, Holden Myers, Tom Ringer, Corey Moore, Todd Parra, John Stapleton, Richard Swingle, Jax Duvall, Tyler Waltz, William Dixon. That's all the top 10. 11's going to go to Jay Trockey, Sean Doan 12th, Matthew Huggins 13th, Dylan Doherty 14th, and Ira Kohlhaas 15th. We're going to get these guys moved around and see if we can't have conversation with them. I'm going to start with third place finisher Tom Ringer. Let me see if I can get him down here. Hey, Tom, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, it's always a good time when I get a chance to talk to you, and I've got a chance to do that a couple of times, one being last week in a phenomenal finish that you had there. Tonight, you was able to find a little momentum. I was able to claw your way up to third place. It looked pretty slick, pretty rough out there. Take us through your night.
Yeah, I mean, the track eats tires up, but they lasted longer than I thought they would. I thought we were all going to do a 3-pit throughout the race, but the leader kept going, so we kind of changed our strategy a little bit, kept it going the way we were doing, and yeah, I was able to claw back through there. The restart really didn't. I didn't think I had anything for the front two, so I just stayed behind Jax. I figured a third place. Totally happy with that. So I mean, it was good. It was a good race all in all.
Yeah, one thing that it looked like to me that was a struggle was the passing. It looked like it was tough to get around cars, up, or at least until the tires wore, and then it became who was able to save tires more out on the racetrack. Yeah, that restart, I kind of watched you there, and it looked like you was just pretty content. I've noticed, though, you have a knack for these short tracks.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I shine a little bit. I mean, I could run speedways and everything, but short tracks, I can stay consistent, and sometimes that's all it takes is just be consistent. I'm happy with the top 3. Hell, I'm happy with the top 5. So, I mean, I'm good with it, but that last one, I was going to have to get around Jax and go up there and fight with the 51. I figured a third place rather than push it and lose my tires. I just didn't even want to do that. So I kind of kept it where it was at, but I'm real happy with what I got.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on that third place finish. Anyone that you would like to give a thanks or a shout out to, now's the time to shine, man.
Yeah, RFRL's pretty good. I appreciate what you do. RRL's a great league. To get a bunch more guys in here, we're going to start more leagues and more fun. So I'm happy with what's going on.
Absolutely, Tom. And I tell you, we developed a relationship somewhat maybe about 4 weeks or so ago, and we've been coming over and hanging out with you guys on Thursday night, and you guys have been hanging out with us on Monday nights. And I tell you, I am excited for this coming Thursday, man, as we're going to tackle Chicagoland in the Next Gen Cup car with the Ratfink Racing League Next Gen Cup Series, and I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm really happy and I'm really excited to be out there in Chicagoland. That's a good track. It's a lot of fun. Not a lot of yellows, hopefully, and I think it's going to put off some good racing.
I think it will too, man. Well, I'm going to send you back up to your group. Go enjoy that podium finish, man, and I'll see you this Thursday night.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Thanks for what you do.
Appreciate you. That there's going to be Tom Ringer, our third place finisher. I'm going to see if I can move our second place finisher down here. Holden, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, sometimes it's better to be the bridesmaid than it is the bride. And in this case, you started off from what it seemed like you was going to be able to have some pace to match your teammate there in Bradley Carter. But ultimately, it seemed like he found the groove around this almost 3/4 mile speedway, was able to put a little distance on you. But I tell you, you was the next best thing out on the racetrack. At one point in time, you guys had lapped all the way up to third position, but a solid second place run nonetheless.
Yes, sir. I was just trying to save tires at the beginning. I was sticking with him, and then I knew he was like a tenth and a half better than me each lap, so kind of let that go.
All in all, it was a strong performance. I've got to watch you over the last couple of weeks. Had what was going to be a pretty decent run going at the Next Gen Cup Series with Ratfink last week. I think that was your series debut, and then been with us here a couple of weeks. Now next week we head into Charlotte, so we get off of the drafting tracks. We're off the short track, and we're going to be heading to Charlotte, I do believe, for week 4. What kind of preparation do you think that you're going to need to do to be prepared for Charlotte?
Same thing that I did this time. Bought the track today at 6 o'clock, and we hosted a practice session for me. And we hopped in there and did 30 minutes of practice, and that was about it.
Man, I tell you what, there's been times that I, to myself, have been one of those drivers to where I've never had the track. I've been able to buy it, and within 45 minutes, I'm headed back into the league race and actually go out and have a pretty decent run. So I know that's a rewarding feeling, but all in all, great job, man. It was good to see you up front and bring home a second place finish. You have anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to or say thanks to, man? Now's the time to shine.
Oh, yeah. BCR, Bradley helped me along the way with it and all the starts, and TD Distributing. And that's really it.
Well, congratulations, man, on that second place finish. We'll see you next week at Charlotte. Or in fact, we'll probably see you this coming Thursday, right, at Chicagoland?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, man. Well, enjoy that second place finish, and I'll see you Thursday.
Thank you.
That was Bradley Carter, or Holden Miles. Myers. I'm gonna see if I can get Bradley down here. Bradley, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Man, I tell you what, at one point in time, I thought I was going to fall asleep. I was sitting over here, and I was trying to find things to talk about. I would look up. You were still leading. I would come back 20 laps later, look up. You were still leading. I would come back some 20 laps later. You were still leading, man. You put on one hell of a show tonight. The class of the field, absolute domination, man.
Yeah, man, it was pretty dominating by me and Holden, to say the least. Them super speedways, they're a little on luck, but the short track side's where I feel like I'm the best on, and I feel like that I showed that tonight. Hopefully for the rest of the season we can show that kind of speed and be there when it matters the most.
Yeah, I knew when we put the schedule together that, leaving Daytona, leaving Echo Park, and coming to the cornfields of Iowa was going to be a different type of race. I knew that it was going to be a fun one. We looked at the track temperatures, etc., in the pre-race, and we knew it was going to be hot and slick. I kind of caught some of the practice session that you had up earlier in the evening, and kind of got a figure as to what was going to go down. And ultimately, man, I went on board for a lap or so and just kind of watched. Very smooth rolling the throttle on entry and exits. Just was able to keep the car under and not really burn the tires off.
Yeah, man. We unloaded with a bunch of speed, even in practice. We were a couple tenths faster in the field, so I knew we were going to be good. Qualifying, I just focused on trying to make a lap because I knew if I did, it'd have speed. I wasn't trying to go out there and push it off the wall or hit the wall, you know. And then in the start of the race, me and Holden had the plan we were just going to ride. And I think that was Tom that stayed with us a little bit there at the start. He kind of gave us a little bit of the worry, but when we started pulling away, man, we just rode and rode and rode. And when I pitted, I think I was one of the last cars to pit. There were like maybe two after me to pit. I pitted on like lap 80 or so, and I still had over 50% tire on both right sides. So I knew after that I could just push a little bit harder for the rest of the race, and I knew I could have it in the bag as long as I didn't screw up.
80 laps on a set of tires to only be about 50% worn based off of the crew chief's knowledge and the stats that he was giving you is absolutely amazing. Well, man, I know that there's going to be some people that you want to give a shout out to and some things too. So go ahead and get, time's to shine. It's time to shine, man.
Yeah, man, just got to thank y'all for putting on a good racing league for us to come race. It's really organized. I appreciate that. Got to thank Holden for coming to race with me, being teammates. Having a teammate in this thing really helps because, I mean, last week it was atrocious not having a teammate, but we got through it. Got to thank TD Distributing for making all this happen and just everybody that helps us.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you. I'm going to send you back up to your teammate, but congratulations on your first win of the year, and we will see you, I'm guessing, Thursday night at Chicagoland.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, race fans, that there is going to be the close of the night for our coverage of the Redline Racing League ARCA Series. Again, next week, we will be heading to the Charlotte Motor Speedway with this group. But before we get there, we got a couple of stops along the way. On Thursday night, we'll be on call with Rat Fink Racing League Next Gen Cup Series. Well, they will invade Chicagoland Speedway. And then from there, I will be returning to Racers Elite and hopping up in the broadcast booth for a Friday night showdown. I believe it's going to be the Truck Series at Talladega for this Friday. And then Sunday, I will be back on call, I believe, once again with Racers Elite at the Daytona International Speedway for what will be a 400-mile, 160-lap event there. So the schedule's full, the belly's hungry, and I'm going to call it a night. Until we see you next time, take care of yourself and each other.